Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Nike Zoom Rize. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction on the Zoom Rize is just a bunch of circles that protrude out from the center point, and same on the heel. And actually on the forefoot, like the top of the pattern kind of forms like almost herringbone or just kind of like waves. But yeah, that's what the traction pattern's like. But the traction on the shoe is freaking amazing. I'm not gonna lie, at first I was super scared because I was having some slip-ups here and there, but I think it was more like of a break-in period time thing, because after I'd say about like 4 to 5 hours of actually playing in the shoe, the traction just got really good. Whether you guys are playing on a clean court or dusty court, you guys should be covered. One thing to mention though is that if you guys are playing on your dustier courts, you will have to wipe, because this traction does pick up a little bit of dust, especially on the translucent part of the outsole. The traction on here was really good. I was super impressed. One thing I am a little bit curious though is if they are going to make like a full solid rubber outsole of this Zoom Rize, because I feel like if they did, I feel like the traction is going to be even better, and that's saying a lot because the traction on the shoe is actually already really good. If you all like traction that bites super hard no matter what kind of court you're playing on, this has definitely got you covered. So moving on to the cushion, the Nike Zoom Rize features a full length, what I believe to be a Phylon midsole, and you have this giant zoom unit in the forefoot. It's 10 millimeters thick, and apparently it has 20 psi, and the zoom unit is so nice. It's super bouncy. I would say you do definitely lose like a little bit of court feel just because of how thick this zoom unit is, but honestly, like, you don't lose that much court feel, and you still feel pretty responsive. So I really enjoyed the cushion setup in this shoe, and even in the back. So I said that this is Phylon, but even though this is Phylon, it's really soft and plush, and I actually felt like a little bit of bounce coming from the heel. So I'm pretty sure this is something like injected Phylon, or definitely like a different, you know, composition of Phylon, because it's not that super stiff cushion that no one likes. It's really nice. If they were going to use Phylon like this in the rest of their shoes, I'd be totally okay with it, because the Phylon in the heel is super nice. Combine that with the zoom unit up in the forefoot and you get a very comfortable ride. The way that they implemented both of these cushions into the shoe is freaking awesome, and I really love the cushion setup in the shoe. So moving on to the materials, the Zoom Rize features a full EM upper, or engineered mesh upper. At least that's what Nike states, and it feels really good as well. Like, the material feels, I'd say, like a little crispy at first, but just give it a little bit of break in time and the materials soften up and they feel really nice on foot. In my opinion, you really can't go wrong with EM. EM always does the job well in terms of like containment and just like how durable the material is. Another thing to note about the materials though is that they do actually have this like hit of fuse on the medial side of the toe box area. They don't have it on the lateral side, so it doesn't go all the way around, which is, I guess, kind of normal. And also the swoosh is like a rubberized EM. I think they just kind of coated that area with a different material, or like maybe it's just paint, but that's something to also note. As you move towards the back, you do actually have like this kind of shroud-like thing on the back area of the shoe, and it basically serves as extra durability and extra containment for your heel area. Not to mention, you do have a mesh tongue that's part mesh and part EM. As far as material usage goes, I'm really happy with how they implemented the EM. I think they did a really good job. So yeah, materials on the Zoom Rize are really nice. So moving on to the fit, I'd say the Zoom Rize is true to size. If you guys are slightly wide footers, I'd still suggest going true to size. I'm a slightly wide footer, and at first it was a little bit narrow up in the toe box area, but like I said, the materials do break in very nicely, and now I have no problems whatsoever, no pain at all, no pinching, no pressure, no nothing. So it is really nice going true to size if you guys are slightly wide footers. If you guys are normal footers, I feel like you're gonna have the same experience. If you guys are wide footers to hella wide footers, I would say try these on in stores if you can, because you may have to go up half size. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to assume that you're gonna have to do that. Overall, I'd say the fit on the Zoom Rize is actually really nice. It gives you a pretty good one-to-one fit, and also the way that they implemented like the lacing system, it's an asymmetrical lacing system, and the way they implemented it, it just really hugs your foot into the shoe, which is a great job by Nike. You can't really see it, but there are these like black strands that run down that basically act like fly wire. So the harder you pull your laces, you just get like sucked into the shoe more and more. And also you do have like these little lace flaps right here that your laces run through that also do the same thing, just to make sure you guys are nice and snug in your shoe. Overall, the Zoom Rize has an amazing fit. So moving on to the support, I really didn't have any support problems whatsoever in this shoe, except for one, which I will get to in a little bit. So in the heel, you do have an internal heel counter, which locks you in really well. Make sure that your heel isn't going anywhere. I didn't have any heel slippage at all. Up in the forefoot, so here's where it gets a little bit weird. I did have this feeling of like my foot coming off the footbed just a little bit, just rolling over just a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's due to like the materials and the way that they sculpted like this part of the shoe. You don't really have anything keeping you on the footbed outside of this EM. So I did feel my foot kind of roll over at times, not all the time, just on super hard cuts. But even then, it didn't even happen all the time. And when it did happen, it was just a very, very small, like I could feel like my foot rolling over the footbed kind of thing. It's not a major problem, but it did happen sometimes, so I thought I'd mention that. However, outside of that, I didn't have any instability like on lateral movements. The Zoom unit is actually caged very well, even though it's very, very nice on your foot. You do have a lateral outrigger built into the Zoom unit rubber, which helps keeping you stable on those lateral movements as well. The Nike Zoom Rize retails for $140, and for $140, I would highly recommend getting these shoes. Like I said, the only problem I really had was the lateral containment issue in the forefoot, and even then it wasn't major because I didn't feel my foot rolling over the footbed a lot. It was just very, very minimal, but I could definitely feel it. But yeah, it didn't happen all the time. It happened very rarely, but it did happen, so I thought I'd mention that. Outside of that, this shoe is awesome. It's an amazing performer. Everything about it is nice, especially the cushion and the traction. The traction is money. The cushion is amazing. Like, this is the best implementation of Zoom in the forefoot with like the Phylon carrier that I've ever used. Nike did an amazing job with this cushion setup. If you guys value impact protection while also just having, some decent responsiveness, this is definitely the way to go. The Zoom Rize, honestly, like it doesn't look the best, I think, aesthetically, but it is a beast of a performer. If you all wanted to pick up a pair of these, I would highly recommend it. You guys will not be disappointed. That's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Also, smash that thumbs up button for me, as it really does help me out. While you guys are at it, check out this video on my left and on my right, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.